Happy New Year, everyone. Jordan Travel Enterprise is making some changes. Eva and I are coming into the new year introducing our new focus, which is luxury small cruising, river cruising, and yachts. To introduce you to why we love these types of travel adventures, we've created this video discussing some of our personal experiences and memories we have been able to create. We hope you are inspired to travel elevated in 2025 and beyond. However, we have an opportunity for you now if you're ready and for a limited time only to take advantage of one of 10 luxury staterooms on a Croatian yacht that we're chartering for our anniversary and both our birthdays in 2026. Shout out to the baby boomers of the 50s. Here's the key, because you don't want to miss it. In celebration of Eva's 69th birthday, which is 10 days from now, we're gifting you more time and making this offer available to the end of the month, January 31st. We're extending it to those of you who've expressed an interest but have not yet clicked on the link to complete their registration and make the deposit. But this is the last time we're offering this, and we understand many of you probably have not considered this type of travel before, but trust us, you will not regret it. So be sure to watch the video, comment, ask your questions, and know that we're here for you. Love you all, and again, Happy New Year. The video will follow.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jackie with New Vibe Travel, and
Eva with Jordan Travel Express.
And Sam with Jordan Travel Enterprise.
we wanted to have an honest conversation about travel. So it's more budget travel to more luxurious experiences. Is that how you
Well,
put it?
I wouldn't even say that because you can do the Haven Suite, you can do certain luxury travel on ocean liners. Also, I think it's more about the experience of an ocean liner. Typically people think about as we in the industry, we think ocean liners take you to a destination, whereas you know river cruising per se or yachts will take you into the destination. You have a different experience. So I think the conversation as we talk is more about a mindset of moving from an ocean cruise to a yacht experience. How did we get here? How we've gone through river cruising, we've experienced ocean cruises, and now we're experiencing yachts. And for our audience, just for people to understand, you know, what is it about that experience that's so different than an ocean cruise? And so let's just I think we wanted to just talk about that conversion, or that adventure, as you will, going from an ocean cruise, as we experience different vacations over the years to now yacht experiencing.
But I like to also break it down to a conversation about value
Hmm.
because ocean also has levels,
That's
right?
right.
You have the
Yep.
huge, big ships, and then you have the small liners, the small ship experiences as well.
Hmm.
That's on ocean. That can be just as comparable to a river cruise experience or a yachting experience, sort of, kind of. But you do have those in the well. When I say it that way, we're talking about from the service aspect, the catering
Hmm.
aspect, the I hate to use the word luxury because it's so overused, right? But it's definitely a different elevated experience, right?
Well, we were just talking to one of our colleagues recently, and if I look at a yacht, I'm really thinking more ultra luxury,
Yeah.
because I don't think I've gotten any of those types of experience. Well, let me not speak for the yacht, but even on the river cruise, the experience of the river cruise, unless I'm at a very high end cruise,
Hmm.
ocean cruise with a certain itinerary, I don't believe I've ever gotten the service that I received on a river cruise. Now, you two have gone on yachts, and from what I understand, and from what you share with me, or in the past, that is certainly different from what we've ever experienced on an ocean cruise. Not to mention, we get two types of responses. Number one, what the experience on the ocean cruise ship versus with a river cruise per se, and I
Hmm.
believe on a yacht, more of your experiences at the destination on the land. You don't have the 14 levels or the 12 levels. You don't have the casino and all of the games and the movie theaters and all of the different dining experiences. So I think, you know, to me, when you talk about value, that's what I'm thinking about.
Mhm.
When I think ocean cruise, I'm thinking, okay, what do I want to get out of this cruise? Sometimes I may just want to sit in a shade somewhere and just watch the poolside events. Okay. Other times, I remember early in my ocean cruise experiences, I enjoyed going to all of the shows. Depending on which cruise line you're on, the shows are some remarkable. They're Broadway level experiences. You're not going to get that on a river cruise. You're not going to get that on the yacht. Okay. So it depends on what I'm looking for in terms of value. But today, when I look at my preference, okay, I lean more towards that personal, private, uh, you know, 30, 40 people in my group kind of experience at that versus 4,000 people on a big floating, city.
Well, let's
One
well let's
of the differences is on a regular cruise ship, I think about the number of people.
Okay.
And and when the fuller ship and the with uh a river cruise and a yacht, you're looking at a smaller amount of people, and you have to think about um coping.
Well, that's a good point, Eva. Let's break that down. I often tell clients think of a yacht or river cruise is a Volkswagen Bug up against a double rig tandem tractor trailer. When you look at some of the South of these ocean liners, so let's do a one for one compare. Ocean liners typically, Jackie, what are we talking? Anywhere from what, like 10 decks to 14? Some of the new ones,
well,
16
if
decks.
you're looking at the larger ships, I mean, they're looking at over 6,000 people. And what
Mm-hmm.
it is that they're creating the destination on the floating hotel. So it's not even really, so mostly when you're talking about more of a yacht or a river cruise, that's more your floating hotel or your floating villa. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say that a yacht is more like a floating villa. Whereas the largest ships in the world are more floating destinations.
Well, I call them
And
floating cities.
well, that's the thing. Floating cities, floating destinations,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just sort of taking you along the way because when you stop at the port, you're not overnighting most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
You're there for a taste and a teaser.
That's right.
Depending on where you're porting, you may not have time to actually go out and really get lost in culture of a
Right.
destination. So yeah, they're kind of creating. It's almost like that I just want to get away, but I want something to
Mm-hmm.
do. So they're creating
Right.
all of that on the ship. That's the main
But
difference for me.
you said something key. If I can interrupt for a minute on when you get to the port, I can remember some of our earlier cruises where we took groups, ocean cruise, and they really wanted to experience the people. And I think this particular port was a midnight. You had to be back at midnight kind of thing, which is unusual. And
Mm-hmm.
we actually rented for the group. It was about maybe a dozen of us. We wanted to go out and party. They wanted to experience not the Margaritaville experience right down near the port, but they wanted to go into the country. And we rented a van, a driver took us in, found a little club somewhere with that we could dance. And I mean, this was dancing to the music of the. I don't know if it was Bahamas or Jamaica, but it was unbelievable experience. I remember us coming back that night before the ship before midnight, and we saw some of the groups from the ship that went to the local areas right around the dock, the port there, and they had a terrible crowded kind of a experience. And we were all still basically moving and jamming to the rhythm of the music that from the club that we were in. I mean, we totally immersed in the culture, and it was and even if you wanted to have a meal or something much different. But that's rare. You don't usually get that often time get that type of experience at the ports because you're not there long enough. So you have to plan your excursions
Yeah.
accordingly.
And that's the difference between the smaller luxury, even ocean liners,
Hmm.
and also the river cruising. Because as
Hmm.
you know, in river cruising, we're overnighting everywhere.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
we can leave, come back. Remember that night I finally learned how to ride a bicycle.
The bicycle.
It
Yeah.
was like after midnight, and I'm out there riding
Yeah.
bicycles, and they're on the top deck looking at me. But
Because
that
the
was just
village is
so
right
fun.
there.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
I can tell you, right in the city, riding a
Mm-hmm.
bicycle, which
You
our
felt,
cruise line had.
That's right.
and you felt safe.
Yep. You felt
Oh,
safe.
come on! What time was it? It was pitch black darkness, and me and
Mm-hmm.
these two ladies. It was just me and two other ladies just out riding my bicycle. At about 11, the captain was like,
O'clock.
"As long as you back by 5 o'clock, I don't care. I
That's
don't
right.
care where you
And that could
go."
have been there could have been a restaurant, whether we were in the south of France, or a nice restaurant to have a
Yeah,
croissant or coffee, or if it was evening, a pastry, and you're not worried about missing the ship. I
right.
mean, and so that's a wonderful experience when you can just really sit there. And a lot of times, if we're out, and I think we've done it before, the three of us, where we went and just took pictures. We
Oh
had something
yeah.
to eat. You can find a restaurant and just chill
Or a
out,
coffee
enjoy
shop.
it, a coffee
Remember?
shop, and not worry about yes, yeah.
So hey
Yeah.
y'all, that's an
So
inside
so
joke
that's the
in
river cruise. But
Amsterdam.
now what about the yacht? How did you all find the yacht experience from even the river cruise or particularly the ocean cruise?
But wait, I gotta go back. I gotta go back. I don't think you caught my inside joke about the coffee shop. The
Oh,
coffee.
oh, yes. Well, okay. Tell where were we at? We were in Amsterdam.
We were in Amsterdam,
Hmm.
and I
And
kept
Eva.
telling Eva I want to see y'all see. Don't get no ideas.
Mhm.
See the coffee shop. Eva knew what we. I don't know where she was at because the whole
But
conversation.
my friend was a regular coffee.
That's right. That's right. We're going to get a coffee. That's right.
Oh my mind.
That's right.
That's why we have this conversation. You have to think differently.
You do gotta
Okay.
think differently because
Yeah.
I thought she understood. So in Amsterdam, coffee shops are where they have um the marijuana displays, but actually real coffee as well. I just wanted to see what it looked like inside. But
Hmm.
Eva kept encouraging me, saying, "I thought you wanted to go to the coffee shop." And I'm like, "Oh, she really want to go to this coffee shop with me?" So I, so I was shocked. So we went in. We went down these narrow stairways. Sam knew. He was even surprised that she
No,
wanted
no,
to go to the car.
no, I didn't know what the difference was, but I smelt it immediately. So it was something about it that I knew there was something going on here, and maybe I picked it up, but there was nothing on the signage that gave an
It
indication that
did.
it was.
Yes, it did. Y'all weren't paying. They were really. I guess they were. See, this is what happens when you're on adventures with friends. And so they went down there, but you did. You said, "Oh, I'm really surprised. Eva is really interested to
Yes,
get
I
to
did
the
say
car."
that, yeah, because I knew at some point I knew where we were at, and it wasn't a coffee shop.
And then we get down there, we're just looking around. Oh my gosh! To get back upstairs. But anyway, coffee shops in Amsterdam to drink real coffee. Well, it was real coffee there anyway, but to drink coffee, only coffee is called a cafe.
You go to a
Where
cafe.
you go into a multi-purpose establishment, it's called a coffee shop. But
It's a
anyway,
coffee shop, right?
I digress.
That's
It was just fun.
that is why you use the travel agent.
The
So
Yes.
you the difference.
little nuances of the destination. That's true. That's true. So
I'm
so
sorry. Yeah, go back.
yachts. What is
Yeah.
it about the yacht that you all enjoyed so much?
Well,
It
even
was
I was.
more. It
Yeah.
was more intimate.
Okay.
I, the people were very friendly. The captain knew how to my name.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a different experience.
So yeah, even I was talking about this earlier today, and my first experience with even seeing yachts was going to Fort Lauderdale and Miami for
Mm-hmm.
conferences and seeing the yachts lined up in the marina. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be on one of those one day. And it was just something, I don't know where it came from because I'm more of a mountain person. So for me to see these yachts, and then when me and my husband was in St. Lucia, I kept saying that our neighbor was the yacht that was down in the water. So here it was on my birthday, 2022. Eva calls me. I'm on an ocean liner, and she's like, Jackie, there's a yacht in October. I'm like, all right, I'm there. And I don't know who she, I don't know the people who she knew it from, but I was there. And why I'm telling the story was because I had a desire, a dream that
Hmm.
I knew one day I wanted to be on a yacht.
Yeah, one
And,
of our colleagues proposed a trip, right? Yes.
and so when the opportunity came, I didn't think about all the logistics. I didn't think about the cost. I didn't know any of that. I just knew an opportunity came for me to experience a dream. And
Hmm.
so that is for at least for me where the yachting came from. Now Eva wasn't originally gonna go. And I told her, all right, deuces, I'll tell you about it when I come back home. But then she decided to come along with me. It was one of the best trips we've ever both had. Actually, it's one of
Hmm.
our top 5 or top 3. Um, I, like she said, the captain became, it was a family. It was a small crew. The one that we're going on in 2026, we was going to be a crew of 12, but the one we went on before was like only about 7 or 8 crew members, and it was 30 of us. And it was a very intimate experience, but I don't know, it's something about, like anything, when you get your hair done or you get a new outfit, you're
Hmm.
in something that you've always looked outward about. You see the Magic Johnsons doing it and all the celebrities doing it, but now you're in it as well. Or you see Below Deck on TV, but now
Hmm.
you're a part of it. And I know and then the culture, I had no idea. I had no idea we were in Yugoslavia, the old Yugoslavia. I hadn't even no
Hmm.
idea about the culture until I got there. But being able to have the guides and have the tours and staying overnight, me and Eva went out. Remember that one little bar, Eva, that everyone got there before us, and it was the ladder? And we both sat there and we was like, are we going to climb up this? How are we going to climb up this ladder? But I think it's just creating the experience and having the time to really explore and to decide how we wanted to make that experience and that destination ours. That's what yachting allowed. And it was beautiful. Oh
Right.
my gosh, it was so beautiful.
And yeah, and the tours, the excursions generally were included, right? Because you did a lot of excursions, which again is unlike what we would experience on an ocean liner, where typically you have to pay for or plan your excursion ahead of time and do all that. If not, you do it at the ship desk the day of. But on the yacht in the river cruise, I know particularly, you can pre-plan those, and then day of you can change, do whatever you want. If you don't want to go on the one you signed up for, you can switch over to another one. Was it similar to that on your experience with your excursions,
Well,
or
for
were they
this,
pre-planned?
it was so when one of the things about a yacht, especially with a charter, it's your itinerary.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
the people we were going with, it was sort of already the pre-plan of the purpose of the trip. So the
Hmm.
itinerary was planned out. But what I love about it is if someone had gotten hurt or sick or some of interest change, or, we had a cruise director who actually said, who was monitoring things. So if things had
Hmm.
shifted and people weren't interested, we could have changed it. And
Changed it,
so it's the
right?
flexibility about making it what you want. So that's what I love
Hmm.
about what you and Eva put together for your birthday and anniversary. It's completely, remember when you were planning this, whatever you wanted to do, and that's what you
Right.
got to plan.
So, and that's a good point. As we plan those, there's always an opportunity to change it or um, make make an enhancement or remove something depending on, like you said, the interest level or even if the weather or whatever. We have that flexibility. What about the food? How would you rate the food?
Who was amazing? Oh, it was the
Oh, are you talking about the ocean cruise or are you talking about the yacht?
on the yacht, on the yacht. The
Mhm.
What
So
was
how so
hilarious, because
so
I'm the only one.
fresh.
Yeah, everything was fresh. Even you shared that picture of me eating shrimp right off the fisherman's boat, right? Yep,
mhm.
head they
so
were
so if
still
you were to
moving and everything.
so you were to compare it to, would it be the normal main dining room on the ocean cruise, or would it be one of their specialty restaurants to come close to what you experienced on the yacht?
It would be a specialty
Especially.
restaurant.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but it's
Definitely.
even so. Okay, so let's just back up a little bit. It's only one eating area on most yachts. Either you're going to eat in what they call the saloon. That's where you eat. It's like your living room. That's your dining room, and then you have the top deck,
Hmm.
and that's it. Well, you in or out. You eating inside or
So
outside. That's
5
it.
different restaurants.
No, the
Mhm.
restaurants, if you want all that experience, is on the land. It's when you
Is
stop,
on
you can
land.
go eat. So on the island, you usually get 2 meals a day. You get your lunch is the biggest, and that's what
Hmm.
some countries, but the biggest meal is during lunch. You're gonna made to
Hmm.
order breakfast, because it's all to your preferences. So,
Hmm.
but one of the good things about it is that the chef asks you beforehand dietary restrictions. I'm a pescatarian, so
Hmm.
I I had
As
all
are
the
we.
seafood and the fish.
Hmm.
Everyone else who was eating beef, I had always had my seafood waiting for me, and so I never felt out of place. And then if they wanted to talk
Right.
to me directly, I could just go, "Hey, chef, such and such." They're right there. They're staying on the ship with us, the boat.
That's a good point. You said two things. So as we plan our event, we haven't gotten to the details of the meals yet. But because we're pescatarian, that doesn't to say that they're not going to have world class chefs and meals that suits all varieties of taste on the yacht. And if not on the yacht, it's like you said, there's always, because we are right there, we can always go into the land or the village or whatever and have a meal at a restaurant that again maybe provide a variety of the cultural meals or the meals within that region, as well as the drinks and all of that. Correct?
Yeah, that's what you do. It's like, so
Hmm.
the goal is not to stay stuck on a vessel. The
Hmm.
goal is the destination. So when I think about kind of how we start the conversation, how do you go from one experience to the other? I think a
Hmm.
lot of it truly has to be about caring about culture and actually having a desire to learn more
Right.
about where you're visiting. It's not
Hmm.
to say, oh, I went somewhere, but I don't even know anything about the destination, the culture, the food, the people, the music, nothing, the art, not any of that. So that's one of the biggest differentiators is that you're literally there. And
Hmm.
these towns are small. We're at tiny ports. You're walking right off. You're in the city day or night. Come and
Hmm.
go as you want to. So it's really
Right.
cool.
Good. 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 You mentioned earlier. I remember at one trip we were docked. This was a river cruise, and you and I took a bite during the
Oh
day. I think, and
Lord.
we we just took off riding along the river there, uh, and past a number of restaurants. You can smell the food, the people
Yeah, it was
around
nice.
you. And, this is in addition to the fact that we could have done a walking tour. We could have done a bus tour to one of the castles or some site within that town. But you have all those options, and I like the fact that once it was already paid for. It was already booked in part of the itinerary. We didn't have to worry about how we got there, the experience, or the choice.
And that's what a lot of higher end experiences are. I don't,
Hmm.
and this is kind of what I would love for people to understand. Because, one thing we haven't talked about is cost. And
Hmm.
so many times people are, oh my gosh, it's so expensive.
Right.
Well, I'm working with a line now that does the largest ships in the world, and they do dynamic pricing. And that means that what I quoted the client last week is literally $222 more today for no reason other than just supply and demand. And then they're going to have to do the drink package on board, and then they're going to have to upgrade to the specialty dining. Then they're going to have to do um, their experiences, their tours, excursions. But then they also don't even know what those costs are
Hmm.
prior to putting a deposit down, because this particular cruise line changes prices depending on supply and demand. And
Right. And what you
so
call that?
dynamic
I know.
pricing.
Some of the hotels have started doing that as well.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's mostly what we're used to in the airline industry when we would
Hmm.
tell people, oh, you don't know what the
Exactly.
airline could be anytime. And so that's how it is. And one of the things people don't really understand is when you're looking at the price of a higher end experience, a lot of things are already included.
Hmm.
And it's for peace of mind. It's for the ease of travel. It's for you to
Right.
be able to relax and ease into it and just enjoy the experiences.
Right.
And so often we're focused on cost and then we don't even have the same experiences. And you're like, oh, and ah, and looking at how do you do this? It's like because I was willing to invest more and
Right.
understanding that the value,
So,
that's why I brought it back to value.
so that's just the value. So cost versus value. We need to start
Yeah,
thinking more about value and not just cost.
right.
And,
I mean,
and sometimes the causes, when you at the end of the trip, it's just all the same.
yeah, because trust me, I've my
Yeah.
last ocean cruise, not my last, but the second from the last. I never forget. My friend, she probably came off that ship a extra 800 or more dollars. And
Hmm.
it was crazy. But it's
Hmm.
just doing all the little things. And so often I even had a client that told me one time, Jackie, why didn't you put us in the Haven suite? And I was like, well,
Right.
you say you want the cost to be such and such. But you know what why she wanted that? For whatever reason, her dining time was blocked. It was full, so they put them as a concession in the dining area, reserved only for
Hmm.
the Haven guests. And
Yeah.
the special service, the quality of the food, the personal attention. She's like, oh my goodness, why didn't we have this the entire time? And so often people are reactionary is
Hmm.
when you get there and you see and now you wish you had the experience
Right.
versus just trusting. One of the things that Eva told me earlier that made a lot of sense to me was a friend that she trusted told her about the yacht because she knew that I had a desire to have that experience. She told me about it.
Hmm.
And one of the things, Sam and Eva, I don't think people realize about us as travel advisors, we're not begging you to travel because we're going to do it
Right.
anyway.
That's right.
We're literally inviting you to
Inviting you.
have experiences that we have experienced and or
That's
know
right.
of or plan to have for ourselves so that
That's right.
we can share it with the people that we care about and love. But
Exactly.
we're not begging you to go anywhere because we're going to
That's right.
still go. I
We're
don't
gonna
think
still go.
people realize that.
No, and I
We
go ahead.
don't go for free.
Yeah, we don't go for free. That's right.
Oh no, we
We go for
definitely ain't going for free.
We are passionate about travel.
That's right. That's right. We are passionate. And you talk about the last ocean cruise. I was just sitting here thinking the on an ocean cruise, and we've gone so many that I can't ever remember doing more than one excursion at any port. I mean, or having an opportunity to do more than one excursion at one port. While either you pay for that excursion, it's going to be an hour or two or whatever to get there and do what it's going to do, and generally when you come back, you're done.
Yeah,
Whereas I
the
can
ship is
remember
leaving. Yeah.
I can remember being in Avignon or somewhere in Lyon, Avignon, or one of the destinations, Cologne. And in the morning, we did something that included pastries or whatever. Maybe by lunch, there was something, and there's a tour that you can either do the walking tour or a castle tour or whatever. And then in the evening, they're doing a wine tasting. Oh, and you can get at least, you may be able to get two, if not three in, and you're still not worried about the ship leaving you. And
You don't have to
meanwhile,
worry about the
and
money.
you don't have to worry about the money because it's all included in that experience. And that's the difference. That is fundamentally the thing that I like most about the luxury, ultra luxury experience, because again, it goes back to the value. Yes, I know I paid for it, but it's something about getting there the limo picking you up, getting on that ship through the ease of literally walking out of the car to the ship, maybe going to the lounge, and then doing whatever meals or food or excursion or whatever. And I don't have to take my wallet out a single time if I don't want to for anything other than personal gifts or things of that type. And so that value of being literally when you talk about being pampered, and I don't do the spa and all that kind of stuff, but being able to just go and have a glass of wine or have a meal or I mean a top notch meal and not be worried about the time of day or the ship or the cost or any of that. Just enjoy it. Just
But
enjoy it.
but let's talk about that. The pampering. People so y'all know I get deep. Because I don't know if I ever was this way. And I'm saying that because I've been enjoying life for a while now that I don't remember
Through our
life
agencies.
before how it used to be. So
Right.
y'all, when you're seeing this, trust me, I come from the most humblest of beginnings. Let me share that. We can tell about that story a different day. Um, but it's something about because I think people say, well, "Oh, I'm not used to luxury," or "I'm not," and it's almost like a dirtiness, it's almost like they're kind of repelling it in a way, like it's a bad thing to be
Hmm.
taken care of. But we all deserve it. Like
Yeah.
we're so deserving of
Yeah.
peace. We're so deserving of
Absolutely.
ease, of just ease. We're
Absolutely.
so deserving of feeling important. That's what you said
Hmm.
earlier, Eva, right? The distinction you said, I've been spoiled because I felt like I mattered. Then that's what you told me earlier.
That's right.
Okay, that's true.
It's like we're so deserving of this. So it's
Yeah.
almost like, oh, why is it for other people? Why
Hmm.
is it for them? Why it's not just for us.
That's right.
Don't
Mhm.
look at us all like, oh, but that's what y'all do. Why is it what we just do? We're just, I promise you, y'all, we're gonna go anyway. We're gonna go regardless.
What did you say before? You don't want to be the person that says, I wish, or maybe next year I could do. No, no, no. You can do it now. You can do it
Yeah,
today.
Yeah,
yeah,
Absolutely.
as you can see, I had a show, but I'm still traveling and enjoying myself. I have a friend. He will testify that we went to visit him. He was quote normal. And then he said, I'm gonna retire. He retired and he had a I said, can enjoy himself. I am going to enjoy myself. I
Mhm.
don't need you don't know what tomorrow may be, but you know today you are working.
That's right. And
let
what do
me
we?
tell you.
Yeah, I think since your stroke, what do we traveled to France? We traveled to Barbados. We traveled to Mexico. We've been to Belize and uh, what was the other one? Honduras. So yeah,
Y'all been in New York because let
New
me tell you
York a
why
couple of
Eva's
times.
words hit me very hard. Like I said, on the yacht when we went to Croatia in 2022 October, she wasn't gonna go. She decided, say, you know what, I'm going. Sam released her. I think that was the longest y'all ever. Apparently, y'all told me had ever traveled away from each other
I think so. Well, the longest she's ever been away from me.
without,
Right.
yeah. And
Right
so it
without
was,
me. Mhm.
yeah. And so it was really amazing. And we did 14 days. 14 days. We did Montenegro. We did the 7 nights on the yacht, and then we did another couple days in Slovenia. It was absolutely fabulous.
Mhm.
And that was in October. We came home the first week of November. I can't remember what y'all did for Thanksgiving, but I remember at the end of the year, y'all were here in Atlanta for your Impact Conference. So you
Mhm.
did the Impact Conference. I didn't get to see you while you were here. You did the Impact Conference. Eva's birthday in January. A week and a half or a week after about 2 weeks, almost a week after her birthday, she had the stroke.
Right.
And it's one of the yeah. And there's no words to express. I'm getting emotional. The gratitude I have in us not waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Like we didn't wait. And we
Yeah.
had the best fun. The best, best,
Yeah.
best, best fun. And so many people are waiting and not making it. Or,
Right.
even to just know, like I'm trying to say, even your story has goosebumps for me. To know that you were in the hospital from January to April, and then in August, you're on a plane, 2 flights to get to the ship to do this whole Paris experience, including the train.
That's right.
It's just
That's
it's
right.
beyond. So, oh my gosh, just that in itself, living is a luxury. Living, choosing to live and have experience in itself is a luxury.
Right. And you say that it goes to show again our love, our passion for travel, number one, but also it there's a lot of trust and faith in God,
Mm,
obviously, for the blessing to be able to do that and not be afraid to step out in spite of the future still recovering and all that we have had to go through and are still going through.
mm,
But we're still here, and we're here for a purpose. And part of our desire in the in the middle of all that God has for us to do, we still also enjoy traveling, and so that's part of our makeup. And I don't think that would change. So yeah,
no, that's
yeah.
that's
It's been a
that's
long.
great.
It's been a great almost be 2 years and 2 or 3 weeks, but it's been great, and we're looking forward. I guess this is a good point to maybe switch a little bit and talk about part of our reason for doing this is that experience and having a conversation about ocean cruises versus river cruises and then the yacht is we will be putting together, as you said earlier, uh, a special um, and I don't I guess we've talked about it in the initial write up, but it was, I don't know, 25 years after we got married, somewhere in that period, that Eva challenged me or asked because I guess we'd gone on someone else's vows renewal, and I had absolutely no interest in doing that whatsoever. I figured you're married, we're married. What do we need
Yeah.
to do with vows renewal? What's the point of that? And so she wore me down, and somewhere within that period of a year or whatever, I agreed to do our vows renewal if we made it to 50 years.
Every day we
So we're almost there. We're in our 49th year, and so we'll both be turning 70. Even January, me in April, and then our anniversary is June. So in May 1st of 2026, we will be celebrating our 50th on our own private yacht experience. And again, I hope that all that we've talked about and share with you with some of the differences between that. Again, it's about the value, but it's more about the experience, the value of the experience that you're going to get with that venue, as opposed to being around 4,000 other people. This would be a smaller audience, a smaller group of like-minded people who know each other. Most of us know each other. We'll know each other, but it's just experience. So we're going to be doing that in Croatia, going up from Dubrovnik. I think we finish off in Zadar,
Zadar. Hmm.
but we'll hit Split and what are some of the other areas in between, all along the coast
Korčula,
of Croatia.
Šibenik. Yeah, some really
I think
amazing
there were
time.
like something like what 1,200 islands in the Adriatic Sea off the coast of Croatia. So that's the experience. But go
One
ahead, Jackie.
one of the things about Croatia is that there are parts of it you would never see without being on a boat of some kind.
Right.
Whether it's in large cruise ships can't go to the small islands. I'm talking about
Mhm.
these are literally like deserted islands that we have access to, or smaller populated islands that we would have access
Right.
to experience. And
Hmm.
I don't know, we saw some of the most insane sunsets in the world.
What are some of the last thoughts which you say about the uh, uh,
The difference.
right, traveling with an ocean cruise versus a river cruise to a yacht? What are some of the things that you would think would be a key thing to mention as we wrap?
But I love the intimacy. It's more intimate. It's smaller. And, they treat you really special.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Both of it.
I love that.
Mhm. And
I think for me, the experience of like even use the word intimacy, and for me, it's like relationships
mhm,
that you can form. Like I say, for me, a yacht is a floating villa. So if
mhm,
anyone thinks of Airbnb or a private home or a villa where you get all your close people together and you have your
mhm.
own rooms, you have your own
That's
ensuite with
right.
your own bathrooms, but then you all
Hmm.
meet up in the shared common area and do the jokes and do the
Right,
food and
right.
do the stories. That is what yachting is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I use the term transition quite a bit, and it's really, ocean transition from ocean to river to yacht is really doesn't have to be a transition um, in total because we still enjoy those experiences. It's
Mm,
just that the uniqueness and the flexibility that you can have with the yacht experience just notches it up a level personally. And I think that experience brings you something that you just can't get on the floating city, the floating destinations.
You call my
Thank you,
enjoy
Jack.
that?
Yes, yes, yes.